I'm Elizabeth Harlan. I'm 75 years old. Some of you might remember me from a couple of months ago when I shared my story about climbing the corporate ladder in the 80s as one of the few women in tech. The comments and messages poured in, thousands of you relating to the glass ceilings and late-night hustles. I appreciate every single one. But today, I'm here to talk about the flip side, the part one glossed over last time, the cost of all that success. And trust me, if you're grinding away at your job right now, thinking it'll all pay off someday, you need to hear this. Because what I'm about to share could prevent you from waking up one day with a pile of achievements and an empty soul. My career spanned 47 years. I started as a junior programmer in a dingy office in Silicon Valley back when computers were the size of refrigerators. By the time I retired, I was a CTO of a Fortune 500 company, overseeing teams across 3 continents. Awards on my shelf, stock options that made me a millionaire on paper, invitations to speak at TED-like events. People call me a trailblazer, a role model for ambitious women. And for a long time, I believed it. I thought I had it all figured out. Work hard, sacrifice now, reap the rewards later. But here's the truth nobody warns you about in those motivational seminars. Success isn't free. It comes with a bill you don't see until it's too late. And that bill, it's paid in relationships, health, and moments you'll never get back. Let me take you back to the beginning. I met my husband, Tom, in college. He was studying engineering. I was in computer science. We bonded over late-night coding sessions and dreams of changing the world. We got married right after graduation, full of optimism. Tom got a steady job at an aerospace firm, while I jumped into the startup scene. Our plan was simple: build our careers, save up, start a family when the time was right. But the right time never came. My first big break was at a fledgling software company. I was 25, and they offered me a lead role on a groundbreaking project. It meant 80-hour weeks, but I thought, this is my shot. Tom supported me. Go for it, Liz, he said. We'll have kids later. Later became a mantra in our house. The project succeeded. Promotions followed. By 30, I was managing a department. We bought a house in the suburbs, drove nice cars. But the nights blurred together. I'd come home at midnight, collapse into bed, and be up at dawn for conference calls. Tom handled the groceries, the bills, the everything else. He suggested weekends away. Let's drive to the coast, unplug. I'd laugh it off. Can't, deadlines looming. Or, next month, I promise. Promises stacked up like unread emails. Our conversations shifted from dreams to logistics. Did you pay the electric bill? What's for dinner? No more stargazing on the balcony like we did in college. No more spontaneous road trips. Then came the kids, or rather, the decision not to have them. I was 35, and my company was going public. The stress was immense. Kids now would derail everything. I told Tom. He nodded, but I saw the flicker in his eyes. Disappointment. We adopted a dog instead. Called him Max. He became Tom's companion on evening walks I rarely joined. By 40, I was VP. Travel ramped up: New York, London, Tokyo. I'd call Tom from hotel rooms, exhausted. How's your day? I'd ask, but my mind was on the next meeting. He'd tell me about his projects, but I'd half listen, typing emails. Sounds great. I'd say not really hearing. One evening, after a particularly grueling trip, I came home to find Tom packing a suitcase. Not for a vacation, for good. Liz, I love you, he said, but I feel like I'm married to your job. I was stunned. We hadn't fought much. No affairs, no scandals. Just drift. He said he'd try to talk about it. The missed anniversaries. The canceled plans. The way I checked my phone during dinner. I defended myself. I'm building our future. This is for us. But he shook his head. What future? We don't have a present. He left that night. Divorce papers followed. Clean, amicable. He remarried 2 years later. Had twins. I saw the photos on social media years later. Him beaming at their graduations. I sent a congratulatory message. He replied politely. That was it. After the divorce, I dove deeper into work. It was my anchor, my identity. Elizabeth Harlan, powerhouse executive. I mentored young women, preached work-life balance in speeches. Hypocrite that I was. Friends faded too. My best friend from college, Sarah, we'd been inseparable. But as my schedule filled, our lunches turned to texts, then nothing. She got cancer at 45. I visited once between flights. I'll come back soon, I said. She died before I did. At her funeral, her husband handed me a letter she'd written. Liz, I miss our talks. Don't let work steal your life. I cried in the car, then headed to the airport for a board meeting. Health was next on the chopping block. Stress manifested in migraines, high blood pressure. Doctors warned me, slow down. I popped pills, kept going. At 52, I had a minor heart attack in a conference room. Woke up in the hospital, alone, no family to call. Just my assistant bringing my laptop. Recovery was quick. Back to work in weeks. Can't let the team down. But something cracked inside. Nights alone in my big empty house, I'd scroll through old photos. Tom and me on our honeymoon in Hawaii, laughing in the surf. Sarah and me at a concert, arms linked. Max the dog, who died while I was on a business trip. Moments I traded for emails and PowerPoints. Retirement came at 68. Forced, really, company restructured. Golden parachute. Sure. But suddenly, silence. No more buzzing phone. No more urgent emails. Just me, in a condo overlooking the bay, wondering what the hell I'd done. I traveled finally. Solo trips to Europe, Asia. Beautiful but lonely. I'd sit in cafes, watching couples share stories. Families laugh. Envy hit hard. One day in Paris, I broke down on a bench by the Seine. A stranger asked if I was okay. I wasn't. I was grieving a life unlived. That's when I started volunteering, mentoring at-risk youth, speaking at career workshops. But the real wake-up was joining a support group for successful retirees. People like me, CEOs, lawyers, entrepreneurs, who'd climb high only to find the view empty. One man, a former banker, shared how he'd missed his son's entire childhood for deals. I have yachts, he said, but no one to sail them with. A woman, ex-surgeon, regretted ignoring her body's signals until burnout. We all had variations of the same story. Ambition's hidden tax. Now, at 75, I've had time to reflect. And here's what I know. Success is a liar. It promises fulfillment, but delivers hollow victories. We chase titles, bonuses, accolades, thinking they'll fill the void. But the void grows. Because humans aren't wired for isolation. We're built for connection. Deep, messy, time-consuming connection. Work steals that if you let it. Let me break it down. First, the myth of later. I always thought there'd be time later for family, friends, hobbies. Later for that novel I wanted to write. Later for learning guitar. Later for visiting my aging parents. They passed while I was closing a merger. Later never arrives. It's an illusion peddled by hustle culture. Social media glorifies the grind. Hashtag boss babe. Hashtag rise and grind. But scroll past the filters. What do you see? Burnout stories. Divorces. Regrets. Second, the cost of relationships. Tom wasn't the villain. I prioritized promotions over presence. Small choices compound. Skipping dinner for a call. Canceling vacations for crises. You think your partner understands. They do, until they don't. Friends, too. Sarah's letter haunts me. She needed me and I wasn't there. Relationships aren't transactions. They're investments. Neglect them and they wither. Third, health. Your body keeps score. Stress hormones flood your system, leading to insomnia, anxiety, disease. I ignored warnings until my heart rebelled. Now, I manage arrhythmia with meds, but the damage is done. Exercise, sleep, nutrition. Sacrifice for deadlines. And for what? A plaque on the wall? Fourth, self-identity. Who are you without your job? I was Elizabeth Harlan, CTO. Strip that away and what's left? I had to rediscover myself post-retirement. Hobbies felt foreign. Solitude amplified regrets. Therapy helped. Yes, even power players need it. I learned I define worth by output, not being. Now, the advice. If you're young, ambitious, listening, stop scrolling TikTok success porn for a minute. Reassess. Ask, what does success mean to you? Not society's version, yours. For me, it was impact, but I confused it with status. Redefine it to include balance. Set boundaries. Early in my career, I said yes to everything. Learn no. No to late meetings. No to weekend work. Protect your time like it's gold, because it is. Companies will replace you in a heartbeat. Family won't. Prioritize people. Schedule date nights, friend hangouts, family calls like business meetings. Be present, no phones. Listen actively. Ask about dreams, not just days. Small acts, a handwritten note, a surprise lunch. They build bonds. Invest in health. Move daily. Sleep 7 hours. Eat real food. Meditation apps help me later. Start now. Annual checkups aren't optional. Cultivate hobbies outside work. Read fiction. Paint. Hike. They recharge you. Prevent burnout. I took up photography at 70. Wish I'd started at 30. If you're mid-career, trapped in the grind, it's not too late. I know the excuses. Bills, kids, mortgages. But pivot. Negotiate flexible hours. Change jobs if needed. I mentored a woman who quit her VP role for consulting. More time with her teens. No regrets. For leaders, foster cultures that value life over labor. Unlimited PTO means nothing if people fear using it. Led by example, leave on time, unplug on vacations. Trending now? Look at the Great Resignation. Quiet quitting. People waking up post-pandemic. Realizing work isn't everything. Mental health awareness is huge. Therapy, boundaries, self-care, hybrid work, 4-day weeks, experiments showing productivity doesn't drop, influencers sharing anti-hustle stories. It's a movement. Join it. My life now, better. I volunteer at a tech incubator, helping startups balance ambition with well-being. I reconnected with Tom's kids. They call me Aunt Liz. I travel with purpose. Group tours, making friends. I write a memoir in progress. Regrets linger, but I channel them into helping others. Don't end up like me, wealthy but wondering what if. What if I'd said yes to Tom's coast drives? What if I'd visited Sarah more? What if I'd had kids, or at least tried? What if I'd chased fulfillment, not just success? You have time. Rethink your path. Build a life, not just a resume. Connect, rest, live. This channel shares real stories, hard-learned lessons. If it resonated, subscribe, notify. Like, comment your thoughts. Got a story? Form and description. Share it. Maybe yours next. Word count, approximately 1,500. Wait, the request was for 7,000 words. Let me expand this into a full 7,000-word story by adding more anecdotes, deeper reflections, specific examples, and extended advice sections. Continuing the story to reach the word count. Let me dive deeper into my early days to illustrate how the slide began. Back in 1973, fresh out of Stanford, Tom and I rented a tiny apartment in Palo Alto. Rent was $300 a month. Can you imagine? We furnished it with thrift store finds and hand-me-downs from his parents. Our first date night after marriage was picnicking the park with sandwiches and cheap wine, talking about our futures. I wanted to revolutionize computing. He dreamed of designing sustainable aircraft. We promised to support each other, no matter what. My first job was at a small firm called Data Tech. Entry-level coder, but exciting. The boss, Mr. Reynolds, was old school, expected FaceTime. I stayed late to impress. Tom would wait up, but eventually he'd go to bed alone. "You're killing it, Liz," he'd say in the morning. Encouragement masked concern. 6 months in, I got a raise. Celebrated with takeout. Too tired for cooking. The turning point was the Orion project in 1976. Government contract for data encryption. I was picked for the team. Thrilling, but demanding. Weekends vanished. Tom suggested a camping trip to Yosemite. We need a break. I postponed it thrice. 4th time, He went alone. Came back with photos of waterfalls, bears. You missed out, he said lightly. I brushed it off. Next year. Orion succeeded. I got promoted to senior engineer. Salary doubled. We upgraded to a condo. By 1980, kids were on the table. We tried casually, but my stress levels, cortisol through the roof, made it hard. Doctor said relax. How? With quarterly targets. Tom proposed a fertility specialist. Let's make time. I agreed, but canceled appointments for work emergencies. The company's counting on me. He stopped pushing. Friends noticed. Sarah, my college roommate, called. Liz, you're disappearing. We met for coffee. She was starting a family. Excited. I envied her joy. Work's intense, I explained. She hugged me. Don't lose yourself. I nodded, then ignored it. 1985. Divorce from reality accelerated. I joined a startup, Innovatech. High risk, high reward. Stock options tempted. Tom worried. What if it fails? It won't, I said. It didn't. IPO in '88 made us comfortable. But the hours? Insane. I missed his promotion party. Client crisis. I texted. He forgave, but distance grew. Anecdote. Our 10th anniversary. I planned nothing. Forgot amid a product launch. Tom booked a fancy restaurant. I arrived 2 hours late. Frazzled. Sorry, meeting ran over. He smiled sadly. It's okay. It wasn't. That night we ate in silence. Sex became rare, mechanical. 1990s. Peak career. VP at a bigger firm. Travel. Asia for manufacturing. Europe for partnerships. Tom stayed home, advancing slowly but steadily. He joined a hiking group, made friends. I was jealous but didn't say. Good for you. I emailed from Singapore. Sarah's diagnosis in 1995. Breast cancer. I flew to see her once. I'll beat this, she said. I promised more visits. Work swallowed me. She went into remission, then relapse. Died in '98. Her letter. Liz, life is short. Call more. Visit. Love. Heart attack in 2002. Woke in ICU. Tom visited. Ex by then, but kind. You scared me. I laughed weakly. Can't stop now. Released. Back to work. Ignored rehab. 2000s. C-suite. CTO. Power suits. Private jets. Lonely. Dates flopped. Too busy. Adopted cats for company. Retirement 2016. Empty. Therapy. Unpacked ambition's roots. Dad was a factory worker. Mom homemaker. I wanted more. Overcompensated. Advice expanded. For young pros, track time. App like Rescue Time. See where hours go. Set life goals alongside career ones. Annual review, am I happy? For parents, don't miss recitals for reports. Kids, remember presents, not paychecks. For couples, weekly check-ins. What's working? What's not? Vulnerability builds trust. Mental health. Therapy isn't weakness. I started at 70, wish earlier. Mindfulness. Headspace app. Trending. Gig economy. Digital nomads. Balance possible. Companies like Basecamp. Async work. No overtime.